Okay, kids, let's have some fun. I wanted to show off a new knife that I just got. This is a custom knife that I had made from the Kukri house, handmade industry in Nepal. Now, a couple of months ago, I've been looking for a new knife, a new machete, something that I can use around my yard and something that I can take camping or out on road trips. And I wanted something that was a little out of the ordinary, something that was a little bit more personal. And historically, I've always loved Kukri knives. I grew up watching them in high school, looking through a glass window at a place called the Emperor's Headquarters when I was growing up. It was a gaming store that had a whole bunch of historic memorabilia, and they had an original Kukri knife that they had on display. And I was always fascinated about that edge and where it came from and what it meant. And so now, here we are, fast forward about 30 years, 40 years, holy smokes, am I old. So here I am, old and gray, and I wanted a new blade. And so I was looking online to see what I could find in terms of Kukri knives, and then I came across the Kukri house in Nepal, and they had an offering where you can create or work with them to create your own custom knife. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to go with the original masters who are steeped in Kukri lore and mastercrafting these wonderful blades, and ask them to create something special. And so this is what they came up with. This is what they produced for me. This blade, as you can see, if you know their material and if you don't, you can look up on their site the Scourge. It's one of their longer blades. The Scourge is traditionally a 13-inch blade. This one is 11. So this thing would technically be like another 2 inches wider or longer, and an even thicker belly. So that's one change. They made this shorter, about 11 inches. So the whole blade itself is 11 inches. And the other thing about the Scourge is it has this nice long edge here. Now this edge on the Scourge goes all the way to the back. I didn't like that because one of the things I love about the Kukris is it had that flat spine that you can use to hammer against on the back in case you're like splitting wood or ramming it through something hard and heavy like bone. And so I asked them, can you just give me that top edge for the first 4 inches and then roughly where you end the belly? And so they did that as well. And so now I have this nice, beautiful edge here that lets me do what I need to do with that. And it also gives me that confidence that it's going to be a little bit more stable. Less likelihood that I'm going to cut myself. And I can tell you, this thing is sharp. I've already cut myself here and here just by handling this knife the moment I got it out of the packaging. So it's already drawn blood, as is customary of any knife of mine. The other cool thing about this blade was that I asked them to add these shuri fullers that follow the length of the blade. The reason being is that there's a tradition that add these beautiful shuri styles fullers in. And that I really, really loved. I felt the combination of shortening the blade edge down to the 4 inches and shortening it by 2 inches on the far end would really throw the balance off. So I believe that by adding these churis, it would help with that balance. Now, I was surprised when I pulled this out of the box. It was really light. And in terms of balance, it's pretty much right where you would expect it for a Kukri, right? And it's right there, right above the handle. And I can tell you that in terms of swing action, the weight is up there. It's up on that head. So I feel good about where that's going to go. Now, in addition to this, I could have gotten a traditional sheath for it, or I could have gotten one of these awesome plastic kite art ones. And in addition to this, I ordered the traditional side blade. Now, this is a small single edge blade that can be used for carving, cutting, whatever you need. It's available for smaller jobs, more finer tuned stuff. That the larger blade simply would be unwieldy or too hard to use. And so they do come as a set. They do come with matched handles, so it's both this beautiful hardwood that they've selected for it. It's nice and dark. In addition to that, what they send is a whole bunch of materials that explain its certificate, its authenticity. So the first thing they sent is a letter of authenticity with their signatures, saying that this is really truly a genuine, authentic Kukri knife from the Kukri house, and that made by master crafters that are keeping the tradition alive that it comes with. The other thing it has is a bio about the metalworker that created this. And what's even cooler is he's holding my blade in that picture. That's awesome. It includes his maker's mark, which is also on this blade. That is on that. If you look closely, you'll see that up here. He has a P for this gentleman, whose specializations are partner wall, power wall, and design. So he's the master crafter that helped design my blade, and it was fun talking to him. I'm a night owl, right? And most hackers being night owls, we don't have a problem talking with folks overseas. And so of his day, middle of my night, we had a great long chat. We talked about what I wanted and how I was going to do it. And he kept me up to date throughout the entire thing. So in addition to that, they include a 1-year replacement offering, which I'm telling you folks right now, this is never getting replaced. Refund within a week, that ain't happening. I love this. And lifetime repairs. I don't think this is going to need a repair anytime soon. This knife is just too solidly well made to do that. Now, the other thing that I love about this is it gives you your essential information and how to handle it and how to work it. The back includes instructions on how to hold the sheathing, and well, sort of kind of right, but because this is a Kydex sheath, it's sort of kind of not right. The Kydex sheath that it comes with has a huge opening on the back because it's really tight, right? That's a fat belly; it needs to clear, so it goes in and it slides in a little bit on the nail, and that's how I got my first cut, right? Because I had my hand right over that slot, and when I pull it out, that top edge cut deep into my thumb. Well, maybe not deep, but it was enough to that I noticed it before it took the rest of it off. But having that top sharp edge was really a danger. Had this been a traditional kukri, I might have been okay. I would have learned my lesson the same way, but I probably wouldn't have learned it with. I probably would have learned it with a lot less fun. So that being said, because it is a Kydex sheet, that means that it's really durable, can handle the elements effectively enough, and it's also shapeable. So if you find that it's not holding well enough, this isn't having any problem holding this blade. To be honest, you really need to give it a good pull for it to come up. And when you get it, it's tight. Like they must air pressure seal or something like that. So what I went ahead and did was I opened up the back a little bit so that I can actually find that slot, because being old makes it easier to find that slot, get your blade in. So there you have it, folks. My new custom Kukri knife on its custom display with all its custom authentic materials. Folks, I can't tell you how fun it was ordering my first knife. I would encourage you, if you have the means to do it, seek out and get your own custom knife. It's always a fun experience. This is one of those things I'm going to cherish forever. So with that, folks, as you know, I like hacking, I like making, I like knives, I like doing fun things, I like tinkering with stuff. Oh, and sometimes I do cybersecurity. So if any of these things are interesting, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this new blade, and what you want to see more of. And with that, folks, I'll let y'all go. Thanks a lot. Have fun.